Lakers 3-0. Before I get to the Laker portion of it, no, you know what? Let's do the Laker portion of it real quick, and then I'll come back to a couple personal stories. Lakers 3-0. Should we overreact on 3-0? Should we look at the Lakers right now? Listen, there might be some Laker fans that are like, "Al, relax. They're 3-0. It's not that big of a deal." Let me tell you why it's a big deal that the Lakers are 3-0. I'll tell you why it's a big deal. A couple of reasons. Number one, the Lakers never get off to a good start. Good start, Lakers. Those two don't click. That doesn't typically happen for the Lakers. Okay, who'd they beat? They beat three teams that are either going to be in the playoffs in the Western Conference or they'll be in that playing tournament kind of fighting for a playoff spot. I don't know what Sacramento is. I'd be more surprised that Sacramento locks a top 6 seed. They're probably going to be somewhere through that 7 and 10. Phoenix, to be honest with you, maybe they'll be a 6 seed. Maybe they'll be 7 through 10. Minnesota, give them some time. They'll figure it out. I think they'll be, obviously one of those top 6 seeds. My point is that they didn't play 3 trash teams. They didn't play Portland, Detroit, and I don't know. You pick the other team. Chicago. I don't even know that. I don't know. No idea if Chicago's going to be good this year. They're playing good teams. And when you have a brand new coach like the Lakers do in JJ Redick, you're kind of, the spotlight's a little bit brighter because you want to know, does this guy know what he's doing? Why would the Lakers hire JJ Redick? The guy has no coaching experience at all. So I think everybody's antennas are on and they're asking the question of, is this team going to be good? LeBron's about to turn 40 and JJ Redick is a brand new coach. Well, they're 3-0 so far to start the season. And here are the things that I think that I've liked so far in watching. You've got to see them play against Anthony Edwards. You've got to see them play against Kevin Durant. You've got to see them play against Devin Booker. You've got to see them play against De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis. You've got to see them play some good all-stars in the NBA, some good players that represent the league that can go off on any given night. All right, how they've won. First game against Minnesota, kind of had control of the game for the most part. And when there were some times where things weren't going their way, timeouts I thought were used properly, substituting certain guys in at certain times. JJ Redick wasn't just sitting there and saying, well, I hope this works out. It felt like he had his fingerprints on a game. Okay, next game. Lakers play Phoenix, get blitzed in the first half, specifically that first quarter. Phoenix can't miss a shot. Every shot they take is going in. Next thing you know, you're looking up, and I'm like, the Lakers are down 22 freaking points. I think they get their asses kicked. All right, well, I guess it's Phoenix's night tonight. No, they come back. They make it a game. They end up taking the lead, and you watch Phoenix just fold, and it looks like, their soul is coming out of their body. And by the time you get to the fourth quarter, Lakers are up 8-10 points, and it actually ended up being a pretty comfortable win. All right, how about the game on Saturday? Saturday, you played a team that has absolutely owned you over the years. I think they've won 7 of their last 8 against the Lakers. Domantas Sabonis was 10-0 against Anthony Davis, and the Lakers were playing a second of a back-to-back. Second of a back-to-back, typically, you're at a disadvantage. Sacramento's a team that wants to drop 130 points. By the way, they dropped 127. Sacramento's a team that you've had difficulty with. Sacramento team is going to run up and down the floor. Second of a back-to-back, and the Lakers beat the Sacramento Kings. 127-131. I don't think being 3-0, I think you should be excited about what you've seen so far with the Lakers. I think you should be impressed what you've seen for the Lakers so far being 3-0. I think you should, I'm not saying you go outside and say, hey, the Lakers they're better than the Celtics and the Thunder and whatever other top teams are in the East and the West. But what I would tell you is they look good. They look good. And that to me is more important than anything else. It's, what do you look like? Okay, if you go up against good opponent or future Hall of Famers or some of the best young players in the league, like Devin Booker, like Anthony Edwards, like De'Aaron Fox, what's it look like? They look good. I think you can simplify it sometimes. I think sometimes you can just sit back and you could say the Lakers so far, 1 week into the NBA season, they got another game coming tonight against the Phoenix Suns. They look good. JJ Redick. I know there were a lot of people that were very critical about JJ Redick. myself included. Why? Because he's never coached before. I don't know what the hell to expect. JJ Redick now, if you go on social media during a Lakers game, I would say the two main topics when you go on social media is one of them is going to be how JJ Redick is coaching, how JJ Redick is subbing his guys in, how JJ Redick is using players. Hey, you know what? I don't like the way D'Angelo Russell's playing. I'm gonna put Gabe Vincent in. Hey, you know what? I'm going to give Dalton Connect a little bit more playing time because I like the way he's flowing with everything. Hey, you know what? I'm going to sit LeBron for a little bit, and I'm going to let Rui and Anthony Davis, and maybe I'm going to throw Jackson Hayes in there as well, so that there's a center, and all of a sudden I can move Anthony Davis to the 4 spot. He's making decisions and moves. So far on social media, I'm seeing a lot of compliments towards JJ Redick. Why? Because they're 3-0 and they haven't lost a game yet, and really have nothing negative to say yet. But I think people are being also specific about what they like. They like the rotations. They like the way he's using his timeouts. They like the vibe of the team. They like what the players are saying about JJ Redick. They like some of the clips that are coming out during their practices. All positive vibes, so far. The other thing, by the way, I feel like a lot of people are mentioning on social, still Darvin Ham. Man, Darvin Ham gets brought up so much. My interaction with Laker fans, or just scrolling on Twitter during a game or whatever the case is, Darvin Ham gets mentioned a lot. Comments I see on YouTube, I'm doing the post-game show again. By the way, support's been so good, so good. I appreciate it. And I know that's kind of how this channel was built, was the post-game show. But kind of some renewed energy there. So I appreciate you guys being there. But if you look at a lot of the comments are talking about how Darvin Ham is not there and how JJ Redick is the coach of the Los Angeles Lakers and he's having success. The only thing I'm going to caution Laker fans on is this. They're going to lose some games. It's just how this works. When they lose their games, let's see what it looks like. Why they lose games. Is it because they just miss shots, or is it something else? I mean, it's going to sound a little crazy. One of my favorite stats against the Sun or against Minnesota when they played was Minnesota or Phoenix. I think it was Minnesota. They went 5 of 31 from the 3-point line, and they still won. That they weren't just dependent on the threes. There was other ways that they could win. They get to the free throw line. AD could do what he's doing. But losses will come, and I know it looks all bright and dandy right now. Everything looks great. That will change. That's just part of sports. That's going to happen. But you should be excited and have optimism about this Lakers team because I don't think it's fake. You should be excited and have optimism with this team because I do think they have a good roster, not a great roster. But I think they are in a position that if through 30 games you see, and this is going to be up to Rob Pelinka and that front office, hey, we can improve this roster. Let's use our 2 first-rounders. Let's use maybe some assets that we have on this team. I don't think they're that far away. They're right now, I think, a top 5 team in the Western Conference. If you can hang around there, and this is great that they get off to a good start, you put yourself in a position where all that pressure goes on that front office, like, you better make a freaking move. Do I think they're going to beat the Celtics or the Thunder in a 7-game set? Maybe the Thunder. Let's just use the Celtics as the cream of the crop because they're the team that won an NBA championship and will be the favorites the entire season. At some point, as the season progresses, your target needs to be, how do we compete for a championship, not how do we compete in the West? And getting off to this good of a start is, I think, obviously a lot of great vibes. Okay, something to keep in mind here. They do have a 5-game road trip coming up. So the Lakers are at Phoenix tonight. Tough game. I think this is one of those games where if you get your first L, it comes tonight. I wouldn't be shocked or surprised. Listen, if Lakers find a way to make it 4-0 and they beat Phoenix twice in the first week of the season, that's damn impressive. But you're at Phoenix tonight. You're at Cleveland coming up on Wednesday. Cleveland hasn't lost a game yet. You're at Toronto, at Detroit, at Memphis. The way I look at this road trip, go 3-2. 3-2 is, in my opinion, that's a good road trip. You got to win the games you're supposed to win. At Toronto, at Detroit, you got to win those 2. And then basically win one of these 3 games against 3 playoff teams, either Phoenix, Cleveland, or Memphis. If you win one of those, you're 3-2. You're starting the season out 6-2. That's impressive. That's impressive.